Hello, my name is Jasmine, and welcome to Theater at UNT's Directors Take 5. Today we're here with the director of Green Day's American Idiot, Nathan Autrey. Are you ready to answer some questions?
I am.
So our first one is, what made you interested in directing American Idiot?
Well, I didn't pitch the show. It was brought to me. But once I started researching the show and kind of reestablishing my nostalgia for Green Day, I was pretty hooked. I think my initial thought of it was kind of like, oh, well, this is going to be a superficial show. But then I started working on it and getting into it, and I realized how dynamic the relationships and the story was, you know, with this amazing cover of all these different Green Day songs. Specifically the last number of the show, which was my senior song when I was in high school. So
Oh my God.
it definitely resonated with me a lot, and this process. So
And then you kind of touched on it a little bit, but just saying it was a lot more dynamic whenever you got into it. But what was your initial artistic vision for the musical?
I think right now we live in a society with information overload, and everything is so polarizing right now in terms of our country and politically, and you can't look at your phone or look at the news and not see something that's just, it's more information than we've ever gotten at our fingertips in one moment. I think that's what the show speaks to. And because it's wrapped in this punk rock genre, the punk rock genre was born out of this rebellion against basically higher ups telling the people that thought were less what to do and how to do it. And so it's kind of speaking out against that. And so it's very fitting for a current environment. Did that answer that question?
I think so, yeah. Just kind of playing on those themes and stuff.
Good.
Yeah,
I
think so.
So my conceptual idea came out of that, which was, thank you for reminding me, by the way, which was like finding clarity in a sea of darkness, because that's what we do as you guys are young, so you're going to experience that. But throughout your life, you start to realize what's most important, and it takes a while to find that clarity. But just like what I'm saying, that's what the characters do in the show.
Yeah.
Is they find a way through, and they find who they really are, and they're able to actually be themselves in the end. But it takes that hard journey to find it. So.
Yeah, I understand. What were some unforeseen challenges with directing a musical, and then how did you work through them?
I've directed a lot of musicals, but probably the most difficult thing about this musical is that it is super fast. It is fly by your pants fast. I mean,
Yeah.
Numbers happen over top of numbers. There's numbers like coupled into other numbers, and there's not even a second to breathe in it. So I think working with the actors to stage it in a way that built in a little bit of cushion into that everything that's going on has definitely been challenging. The actors are handling it like pros, and so what's amazing about it is that yes, you're going to hold your breath, and it's going to go so fast. It's a super fast show, but it's worth it.
And then you mentioned it a little bit. I don't know if this will be exactly your answer to it, but what song did you have the most fun directing?
There are some really amazing numbers that I got to be an artist in the show with, because the show is it's a character storytelling, and when you have that device as an artist, you really can do anything you want as far as staging, as long as you stay in that convention. So in this story, Johnny is telling the story, and so I got to play with stylization a lot. And one of the numbers that is probably my favorite is Gimme Novocaine. There's 3 different stories going on at once, which can be kind of hard to follow, but it slows down and speeds up based on the way the character sees that world. So it was tough. It was difficult to kind of get all those pieces working in tandem, but now that it is, it's a gorgeous number. I love it.
And you also teach movement 1 and 2 here at UNT. Did you find that, like, obviously those classes are taught here for a reason, but you had to bring in a lot of that kind of like idea and those fundamentals into even just creating the production?
Absolutely. In a show like this, shape is a big element to it. I mean, just thinking about rocking out, right? Yeah. That's a shape. But the actors being able to get to a place of freedom in their bodies so that they can. I mean, it's just just imagining that shape, the rock shape, that intense, just letting everything out. It's different, right? And there's no reservation to it. So
and there's no right or wrong way to do it.
There's not, So with that, it's about being fearless, and I mean that's something that you get in movement is you get equipped with your body, and you start to say, oh my God, like I can do all these things. Yes, I'm going to do them, and I'm going to do them without fear. And you'll see in this show, I mean, they use their entire body physically, and those shapes that they create that help the storytelling, it's very dynamic.
Awesome. What will you be working on after American Idiot?
I have a couple projects that I can't announce yet, but I'm immediately going into rehearsals for a show I'm doing intimacy for at Bishop Arts. It's a world premiere show, so I think it's called History of the World or something. I just got the script, so I haven't even read it yet. So that's my next project. But I have a couple directing projects that will be. One I'm super excited about because it's a show I've wanted to direct a long time.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, but I'll do a follow-up interview later on and tell you once I sign a contract.
And then you mentioned that you are doing intimacy for the other show. You I know that you do directing, you do intimacy, do fighting as well. Which one would you say is not the most challenging, but which one presents the most challenges when it comes to?
I think kind of wrapped together is fight and intimacy in the same vein, in that there's a new school of thought when it comes to being an actor, and what used to be acceptable in terms of, hey, we have a deadline, you gotta just do this, is not anymore. And now what's really important is everybody's mental health and safety in the work. Because you can always do something, you can always create something on stage and make it look real, and it doesn't have to be real, and it shouldn't be real. And performers should be able to never have a moment in the work where they're disconnected from playing the role and they become something else. So I would say probably those two together and creating that environment, and that was something that we had to cultivate in this show, because there's a lot of fight, there's a lot of intimacy, there's a lot of working pieces in that. So it's always important for me that those actors they have an avenue to speak, they have a platform to say how they feel about every moment, and they can feel 100% confident that what they're doing, they're not sacrificing any part of themselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Well, thank you so much, Nathan, for being here. And then join us next semester for another episode of Directors Take 5. And make sure you go to the UNT Dance and Theater box office to get your tickets for American Idiot today. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you.